You eat it on autopilot. Toast in the morning, a sandwich at noon, a grilled cheese for the kid before bed. The average American goes through about 53 pounds of bread a year, and almost none of it gets a second look. It is just bread. 18 days ago, on May 12th, the Food and Drug Administration quietly opened a formal safety review of an ingredient sitting in American bread for decades. The same one that makes the foam in yoga mats and the soles of your sneakers.
Breaking news involving a statewide toxin testing of bread.
It is banned in Europe and Australia. Here, it is legal. 7 things hiding in the bread aisle you should stop buying on faith. 1 is classified as a possible cancer-causing agent and banned in more than 40 countries. Still legal here. And I will tell you which loaf brands a state health department flagged by name this year, with the test numbers. Plus, 3 safer directions at the end. I saved the cleanest for last.
2 things before the countdown. 1. Bread is not a treat. You eat it every single day, often 3 times, and so does everyone smaller than you in the house. Whatever is in the loaf, you are not getting a dose. You are getting a subscription. 2. The label is built to be skimmed. The front says, made with whole grain or honey wheat, and a tired parent reads exactly that much. The interesting part is always on the back, in 6-point type. The companies are betting you never turn the bag over. Today, we do. Number 7. Potassium bromate. This is the one I want you sitting down for. Bromate is a dough strengthener bakers add so the loaf rises higher. Sounds harmless. Here is the problem. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies it as a Group 2B agent, possibly carcinogenic to humans. In animal studies, it produced kidney and thyroid tumors in rats. So the rest of the planet acted. The European Union, Canada, the United Kingdom, Brazil, India, more than 40 countries banned it. The FDA? It encouraged American bakers to stop, voluntarily, back in 1991. That has no legal weight, and a petition to ban it outright has sat essentially unanswered since. Today, the Environmental Working Group still finds it in more than 200 products here. Store-brand bread, flour tortillas, frozen pizza crusts. California finally banned it, but not until 2027. So for now, the rule is simple. If you see bromate or bromated flour, put it back.
Number 6. Azodicarbonamide, the yoga mat chemical. This is the one the FDA reopened 18 days ago. ADA bleaches flour and toughens dough so a loaf survives a week in a warehouse. The catch is its day job. The same compound is a foaming agent for plastics. It is what puts the squish in yoga mats and shoe soles. Same industrial chemical in your bread and under your downward dog. When it bakes, it can break down into semi-carbazide and a trace of urethane, both flagged in lab studies. The European Union and Australia restrict or ban it in food. The United States does not. Remember when Subway pulled it from their bread in 2014 after a public campaign? Arby's quietly dropped it too. Here is the part nobody mentions. Those chains moved on while the same chemical stayed in packaged loaves on the shelf for 10 years, until the FDA finally reopened the file this month. Number 5. Calcium propionate, listed as preservative 282. This is the mold stopper. Why a loaf sits on the shelf 2 weeks and never turns green. For most adults, it does its job and moves on. But there is one study that should make a parent slow down. In 2002, an Australian researcher named Sue Dengate ran a double-blind, placebo-controlled trial, the gold standard, on children eating bread with calcium propionate, published in the Journal of Pediatrics and Child Health. After just 4 slices a day for 3 days, about half the kids showed measurable changes: irritability, restlessness, trouble paying attention, disrupted sleep. Take the preservative away, the behavior settled. I am not telling you propionate is poison. I am telling you the thing keeping your bread fresh was tested on kids, and the kids reacted. If your child bounces off the walls and you never suspected the sandwich bread, this is worth knowing.
Number 4. Added sugar in healthy bread. This one is pure sleight of hand. You walk past the white bread because you are being good, and reach for honey wheat. Then you turn the bag over, and sugar is the second or third ingredient. Here is the trick. When a brand brags no high fructose corn syrup on the front, they often swapped it for cane or beet sugar, which your body processes basically the same way. The claim is real. The benefit is not. If sugar shows up before you are 3 ingredients in, that healthy loaf is dessert with a respectable haircut.
Number 3. What a state health department found this February. This is not a rumor, and not a wellness influencer. In February 2026, the Florida Department of Health tested 8 bread varieties from 5 national brands for glyphosate, the weed killer in Roundup.
Leaders say they tested and found elevated levels of glyphosate, a common weed killer, in several popular bread brands.
They found it in 6 of the 8. Here are the numbers they published. Sara Lee Honey Wheat, highest, at about 191 parts per billion. Nature's Own Butter Bread right behind it. Wonder Bread Classic White on the list too. And here is the contradiction that got me. Dave's Killer Bread, the organic loaf everybody recommends, showed up in 2 varieties. Now, the honest part.
Those levels sit inside the federal legal limits, so no recall was triggered. The companies broke no law. But sit with the bigger picture. Glyphosate gets sprayed on wheat fields, sometimes right before harvest, to dry the crop, and it rides the grain into your toast. Legal does not mean it is not there. It means somebody decided that much was fine. Number 2. The recall you never heard about. Bread feels like the one thing that cannot be dangerous, but the aisle has a quiet recall history, and it is not about chemistry. It is about what falls into the machine. In 2015, Bimbo Bakeries, the parent behind Sara Lee and others, recalled bread across several brands after a light bulb shattered over the line and glass ended up in the loaves.
Hey, we have a recall alert for bread sold at retail locations in Maryland. Upper Crust Bakery, it's based in Glendale, is voluntarily recalling 3 types of bread after glass fragments were found on top of the loaves.
Years earlier, Sara Lee pulled product across more than 24 brands after a damaged sifter sent metal fragments into the dough. And in 2024, a major bread maker recalled loaves over metal again. These were caught and pulled. I'm not telling you your toast is full of glass. The point is, the aisle is not the simple place the packaging implies. It runs on giant industrial lines, and when something breaks, it ends up in the loaf before anyone notices. Number 1. The whole grain health halo itself. This is the big one, and it is not a single ingredient. It is the marketing machine wrapped around the whole aisle. Read the fronts of the bags. Heart healthy, good source of fiber, wholesome. A wheat field, a little leaf, then you turn the bag over and find bleached enriched flour, added sugar, dough conditioners, preservative 282, and on some shelves still, bromated flour. The front and the back describe 2 different products, one written by the marketing department, the other by the legal department. Here is the math that matters. A health halo you fall for on Tuesday is a decision you repeat 500 times a year for people who trust your judgment. So the most powerful move in the whole store is also the simplest. Stop reading the front, start reading the back. That is number 1.
7 things in the bread aisle. Now what actually works. Safer direction 1. Real sourdough. Not bread with sourdough stamped on a plastic bag. The real thing. 4 ingredients. Flour, water, salt, starter. The slow fermentation does the work the dough conditioners and bromate were faking. Local bakeries and the in-store bakery counter are your best bet. Safer direction 2. The clean label national brands. Dave's Killer Bread and Ezekiel, made by Food for Life, both skip bromate and ADA, and Ezekiel uses sprouted grains with no added sugar. Yes, Dave's turned up on that Florida test, which is exactly why I will not call any brand perfect. But the ingredient list is shorter and cleaner than the big white loaves. Safer direction 3. The simple ingredient rule, for any loaf on any shelf. Turn the bag over. The list runs past 6 or 7 things, or you hit sugar in the first 3, or you see bromated, azodicarbonamide, or bleached. Put it back. A loaf does not need a chemistry set. Flour, water, yeast, salt. Everything past that is the company solving its problem, not yours. Got someone at home who shops on autopilot and grabs whatever loaf is on sale? Send them this video. New investigation every week. Hit subscribe.